Coming up, breaking news as the tunnel fire explodes overnight. Homes are destroyed and more firefighters are on the way. Plus,
Red Cross is opening doors at Sinagua Middle School for those who need to evacuate from the tunnel fire.
the news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
From 6,000 acres to 16,000 acres overnight, the tunnel fire 14 miles northeast of Flagstaff has destroyed homes and displaced hundreds of residents and animals. Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Hannah Ware.
And I'm Liam Combs. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight we have extensive coverage for you tonight on every angle of this fire, beginning with an update on the fight for containment as the fire stands at more than 19,000 acres.
At least 250 firefighters and support personnel are at work on this huge fire, which suddenly exploded overnight. As the fire grows, so does the effort to contain it. The tunnel fire is in the process of becoming a Type 1 incident, bringing to bear resources from around the country. Since the fire was first reported Sunday, the team at Summit Fire Station 32 has been trying to stay ahead of the flames. So far, it's been a struggle.
We are currently bringing in resources to include a Type 1 team where they'll be bringing in even more engines, more dozers, more capabilities with aerial assets.
Burns says today's fire crew stuck to the basics.
Structure protection and essentially what we call a strategy anchor and flank, good old firefighting. We're starting at the source where we can get ground resources such as dozers or engines on the ground or even crews in to create a fire line.
Firefighters had to bring their own water to tackle this fast-moving blaze, and they were prepared.
Water tenders, which are large tanks that can hold about 3,000 gallons, and we bring that with us. We can also come back to our hydrants here within the district, and they refill here at the stations.
This huge fire is just the first major blaze of the season, and with dry conditions, more wildfires are likely to follow. Burns says people need to be prepared for evacuations by remembering the 5 Ps: prescriptions, pets, papers, people, and photos.
Go ahead and sign up for Coconino County emergency notifications. That way you can have the most up-to-date information on evacuation notifications, emergency notifications.
Hannah Ware, NAZ Today. As of now, there was still zero containment on the tunnel fire. As dozens of additional firefighters and equipment are moving in, people and animals are still being evacuated. At least 25 structures were destroyed by the fire, while some residents were evacuated to a shelter at Sinagua Middle School.
NAZ Today's Julia Castro has been speaking with some of these people, and she joins us now in the studio with the story.
Thanks, guys. Among those who we spoke to today, a woman who was forced out of her van, which was her home. The van was lost to the fire. She asked to remain anonymous. The woman has been living in a converted van, and she said she had less than 20 minutes to evacuate her camping area.
I'm saying maybe 10:30. We got alarms on our phones, and a few minutes after that, a forest ranger came out and said, y'all have 15 minutes to get up and get out of here.
Her van was broken down, so she had no choice but to flee as the fire approached.
We were evacuated. My van would not start, so we had to leave it in the forest, and everything I own is in it.
Thanks to the Red Cross Evacuation Center, she was able to spend the night at Sinagua Middle School and has been there since she left her van.
Welcomed us with open arms, gave us a good place to sleep, food to eat, snacks. We could not really even ask for more.
As for what's next, she says she plans to live with her travel companion who has her own van. The shelter remains open. The most important message the Red Cross wants to put out there is that they need volunteers.
Yeah, I just want to say that we really, really need volunteers. This is a huge undertaking based on all of what's happened, and it's going to be a long-term effort.
The Red Cross is accepting donations. The best way to help is to give money, and if you would like to volunteer, visit redcross.org. Julia Castro, NAZ Today.
The Bureau of Indian Affairs says smoke from the tunnel fires will impact the Navajo Nation. Those who are sensitive to smoke are being urged to stay inside. Winds are pushing the smoke towards the reservation. And speaking on the tunnel fire, it has also affected pets and livestock that are currently being taken in at local shelters. NAZ Today's Nick Ruth joins us now with details.
High Country Humane and the Coconino County Humane Association have set up an emergency shelter at Fort Tuthill Park, where they're taking in all kinds of animals like dogs, cats, horses, and even sheep. The High Country Humane Society had to quickly evacuate its large shelter yesterday due to the tunnel fire, and they've set up a temporary home at Fort Tuthill's horse stables with the help of Coconino Humane. Some of the animals are in foster homes. Coconino Humane is also assisting by taking in all the livestock that was evacuated, including horses, sheep, and goats.
Lots and lots of animals being evacuated out there as well as people. So Sinagua is the human shelter, so they're evacuating people there. People need a place to bring their livestock, their horses and stuff. So it's easy to evacuate a 5-pound dog, but not so easy a 2,000-pound horse.
Coconino Shelter is taking in all the evacuated domestic pets as well, mostly cats and dogs, at their main shelter off of East Butler Avenue. The shelters have been receiving what could be called an amazing amount of help from Flagstaff residents who are donating food, money, and their time to help animals in need. The Hubbard family, who work for Olson's Grain, have been providing food for all these misplaced creatures.
Some of our customers who live out in that area, they lost their barns, and their homes, their pets. Their pets shouldn't need to suffer. We're just trying to pitch in and make their lives easier for them.
Those who are looking for animals that may have been lost in the fire zone should check with the two shelters. If you want to donate, check out their websites at coconinohumane.org and highcountryhumane.org. Nick Ruth, NAZ Today.
A no-fly zone has been implemented by authorities in the area of the tunnel fire. Any form of personal aircraft, including drones, are prohibited from flying in or around the area until further notice. This is for the safety of all aerial crews as they work to contain the fire. The fire department says it can cause a fatal emergency. If personal drones are seen in the no-fly zone, authorities are forced to ground all aircrafts, preventing putting out the fire.
The Crooks fire is still burning south of Prescott. As of now, the fire has burned through 1,600 acres with 0% containment as crews work to keep it from progressing north. Evacuations are still in effect for residents near Potato Patch, Breezy Pines, and Walker Road south of Lynx Lake. Due to the increasing risk of the Crooks fire, an incident management team from Southern California has assumed command of the fire as of 6 p.m. A community meeting is being held at Embry-Riddle University to update residents on the fire at 6:30 after this broadcast. To attend the meeting virtually, visit the Facebook live stream at www.facebook.com/PrescottNF.
Coming up, why did the tunnel fire spread so quickly? Also, we'll tell you about so-called climate refugees. Stay with us.
Now, this tunnel fire has created quite the impact here in northern Arizona, especially people around the Doney Park area. Currently, we have seen 19,000 acres burned, gusts up to 40 miles per hour, and those will continue throughout the next couple of days as well, giving it the perfect fuel for this fire to continue to spread, as well as that dry relative humidity. Now, I'll have more on the tunnel fire and weather after the break. Stay with us.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple?
Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay. You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different. Really?
Buzz, what's up, man?
You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. As the tunnel fire spreads, we now ask the questions of how and why this fire doubled in size overnight. NAZ Today's Matt Kienitz has a story.
Thanks, Liam. Today we went out to the National Weather Service here in Flagstaff and spoke with another well-known meteorologist to get some answers about this massive fire. The tunnel fire spread rapidly, overnight reaching over 16,000 acres by morning. KNAU meteorologist Lee Bourne says it is all about the wind.
We're definitely in that time of year where we can get strong, if not extreme, wind events. And unfortunately, this tunnel fire coincided with one of those.
Meteorologist Tony Merriman with the National Weather Service says winds have slowed down from last night, but the direction remains towards the northeast, away from Flagstaff.
So what we're looking at for the next 3 days are winds out of the southwest blowing to the northeast. And if the fire is out by then, we're not too concerned about it, but we are looking for a wind change probably sometime on Saturday, if not on Sunday.
Wind speeds will pick up as the week goes on, potentially spreading the wildfire and making it even harder to contain.
Unfortunately, we are moving into another big wind event here beginning Thursday and going into Friday. As a matter of fact, tomorrow winds will be gusting near 50 miles per hour. It'll be another very dry, windy day, so that will be challenging.
Just as we experienced with the museum fire a few years back, Merriman says this blaze could also lead to floods later on.
So with burn scars, typically we are concerned about post-fire flooding, and that could always be a chance. But again, it won't be until our burn severity team gets out there and assesses the damage.
Some might ask whether climate change is responsible for this fire, but both meteorologists say there is no way of knowing. As of now, the cause of the fire is still unknown, but the Forest Service is investigating. Matt Kienitz, NAZ Today.
Climate change brings up many questions, including how our communities will respond. Addressing the issue of climate change refugees, NAZ Today's Caitlin Boland has the story.
We hear a lot about the environmental impacts of climate change, from raging fires to scorching droughts. But there are also more subtle social implications. People moving to Flagstaff because of climate change bring up questions about equity and access to resources, such as affordable housing. Stefan Sommer, board member for the Northern Arizona Climate Change Alliance, says it's important to know the difference between climate refugees and climate migrants.
Climate migrants are folks who leave their homes because of extreme climate extremes of one sort or another, but then go back. Climate refugees are folks who flee their homes because they can no longer survive where they once lived.
Sommer says last year, over 36 million people worldwide fled their homes due to climate disasters. Here in Arizona, one of the biggest climate impacts is the heat.
The folks who are most strongly affected are those who can't afford to cool their homes, those folks who can't afford to flee to cooler environments.
NAU professor Bruce Hungate says heat is taking an ever-growing toll on Arizonans.
It's already hot there. Make it hotter and people are going to die from exposure. I think the issues of climate migration and climate refugees really bring up some of the inequities around climate change, and facing that head on is something we have to do a much better job of as a society obligated to people who we live with.
Caitlin Boland, NAZ Today.
United Way of Northern Arizona is taking donations to help those affected by the fires. The organization has a crisis fund set up on their website, or you can text UWNAZ response to 41444.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Meals on Wheels gives me a chance to be totally selfless. More than the food itself, a lot of seniors don't have family. So just to have someone to talk to, just to say, hey, how was your day? That means so much more than a meal could ever mean. We have to look outside of ourselves to be that lifeline to other people. It's worth it.
Good evening and welcome back to NAZ Today. My name is Tori Smith and I'll be bringing you weather here on this Wednesday evening. Now we've got smoke and haze continuing throughout much parts of Flagstaff. Temperature right now reading at 60 degrees. Barometric pressure remaining high at 30.03. Low relative humidity and strong southwest winds at 18 miles per hour. Gusts can be jumping up to 25 miles per hour tonight and 38 miles per hour tomorrow. Now that is the perfect fuel for this wildfire to continue throughout the night. Now taking a look at our current satellite right now, we are seeing no cloud coverage whatsoever. These are actually our fires that are continuing throughout much of Arizona. Down here is the Prescott fire, up here is the Tunnel fire. And taking a look at that wind pattern, it is going to be continuing to come in from the southwest, pushing up northeast. So that fire is going to be continuing northeast over by the Hopi Reservation. So it will be pushing that way throughout the night. Now high today was 66 degrees, low tonight going to jump down to 37 degrees. We are right on par with that average, about 60 degrees as the high, 29 as the low. And we're just a little bit above average, so that's nothing too bad, especially because we are currently in a warming trend. Now high temperatures across the state today, relatively warm overall, 92 degrees down in Phoenix. 82 degrees in Las Vegas and 79 degrees in Kingman. Red flags all over the state as well. Tonight that low going to be 37 degrees, mostly clear skies, but if you live over by the Donny Park area, especially in any area where those wildfires are happening, you are going to be seeing very smoky skies throughout the next few days. Now tomorrow here in Flagstaff, high is going to be 67 degrees. Sunny skies once again, but those gusts will be up to 38 miles per hour. So that can definitely knock you off your feet. Definitely be prepared for that. And smoky skies will continue throughout the area as well. Now, looking at across the state for tomorrow, we are going to be seeing red flags across the state once again. That means that it's going to be very dry conditions and very windy, very potential fires in all of these areas. So 78 degrees is the high in Kingman, 67 is the high in Flagstaff. Over in Tuba City, 83 degrees as the high and 82 degrees as the high in Winslow. So overall, we are seeing here in northern Arizona, definitely more summertime temperatures coming in down in Phoenix as well. springtime temperatures remaining in Flagstaff and Payson. Now, taking a look at our week here in Flagstaff, we have 67 degrees on Thursday, going to jump down to 51 degrees on Friday. And you might be wondering what that is. We actually have precipitation in the forecast, so nature is on our side with these wildfires. But it will move out once again. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, expecting some very clear skies. 57 is the high on Saturday. Gonna jump up once again to 60 degrees on Sunday and 67 degrees on Monday. Now that warming trend is starting once again, so clear skies are expected for the next week. And those are your low temperatures for you as well. Now that is all we have for weather tonight, but definitely check out sports after the break. Stay with us.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I just found out my work party is a +1. You want to go? This is my boss, Ella.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
You're welcome. Nope, I'm high. But I'll clean the kitchen while you're gone.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
How prepared is your family if a wildfire shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or an earthquake? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
Welcome back to NAZ Today. I'm your sports reporter, Kristen Chancellor. Working in sports is a dream come true for many as they grow up. From being athletes to employees working in the sports industry sparks new adventure for many. However, for women in sports, they can have trouble getting their foot in the door and voice heard. I caught up with a few women who currently work in collegiate sports to talk about their experience. In the sports industry, women are becoming involved with different sports and working with them. However, they face stereotypes as they join.
Probably not being taken seriously, and just like people think I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about or much about the sports.
These women have the same passion as others.
I just love sports. I used to play competitive golf in high school, and when I couldn't play anymore, it was like, well, what do I do to still be involved in sports even though I can't play sports anymore? And I signed up to become an athletics intern, and I just fell in love with being on the other side of sports.
Women working in sports is becoming a more acceptable topic as women voices are being heard.
I feel like working in sports as a woman is becoming more and more important because I think there's a need for women's voices in sports, and a lot of people are interested in what women have to say.
In a male-dominated industry, the standards are seen differently for men and women.
Especially when it comes to male sports, that males know more, or they have more knowledge, or they're more like on the same level as those that play the sports. And so it's like, oh, women should cover women's sports. I don't think that's the case at all. If you're a good sports reporter, you should be able to cover whatever sports.
Despite the hardships, these women are supporting one another and being positive for the future.
If I see any women working in sports, I'm like immediate follow, like this person's like role model material.
The industry is continuing to allow more women into different roles, including coaching staff, general managers, and more. The NEU football team is set to have their spring game on Friday at 6 p.m. in the Walkup Sky Dome. The Lumberjacks have been in spring ball since March 22nd and have maintained practice and training after ending last season with a 5-6 record. You can come and check out the Lumberjacks on Friday. Well, that is all we have for sports. Stay tuned for a weather recap after the break.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Welcome back. Let's take one last look at weather here. 67 degrees is the high on Thursday, going to jump down to 51 on Friday. Precipitation throughout the day, so Mother Nature is once again on our side for these wildfires. And what is going on with those wildfires over on desk?
That's right, Tori. Here's the latest on the tunnel fire. It has now burned nearly 20,000 acres, up from 16,000 this morning, excuse me. Approximately 25 structures have been burned, and at least 260 firefighters are on the scene. An evacuation center has been set up at Sinagua Middle School as evacuations continue. As of now, the fire remains 0% contained.
All right, well, let's end this show on a lighter note, Liam. It is our last show of the semester, which means it is also our senior night. As much as it is a sad goodbye, we are also excited to see what your guys' future hold. We have some of our seniors in the studio. What are your guys' plans for graduation?
My plan after graduation is to head back to Las Vegas to cover some local news there.
My plans are to head to Phoenix and start my career as a woman in sports. Final time signing off, Kristen Chancellor.
My plan is to move back down to Phoenix and start my career as a virtual assistant. Turning the lights off one last time. Thank you, guys.
Well, it has been our pleasure, and thank you so much to our seniors. That's all we have tonight, folks. Make sure you tune in next semester, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great night.
We went over.